Hello and welcome everybody to the September 2025 ONINO community update. We have a new design, but before we jump right into this new design for the update slides, I would say let's lean back, listen to the music, and wait for everyone to join. We're going to start in 1 or 2 minutes.
Hello. Also a warm welcome from my side while waiting. I hope everybody had a great summer so far and is now looking forward to starting into a nice September. As Alex said, we're just going to wait a few more minutes so we get everybody enough time to join.
Okay, perfect. This should be enough. Thank you very much everyone for joining. Again, warm welcome from Team ONINO. This is the September 2025 community update. I have stopped counting. I don't even know how many we did. I think we're almost nearing the 4-year anniversary. I think we did the first public appearance in November of 21, but maybe it was even September. So it's been some time. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, thank you very much everyone for joining in. Today, Lucas is in well-deserved vacation. We're taking turns. And Kai, myself, Alex, and Karen are on the call. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. And let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. So we are first going to go over the ecosystem partnerships, then talk about the cohort, a visit to the headquarters, customer and use case highlights, a team update, a successful equity fundraising round, marketing and launch preparation, a dev team behind the scenes, input or essentially an overview into the product regarding the user flow and the admin flow, and then an improved fiat and crypto payment rail. So it's a lot of things to cover and at least one major announcement, I think maybe even more. Without further ado, I would say let's jump right into it, and Karen is going to start and take over.
Thanks, Alex. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you're having a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever it may be. So without further ado, let's jump into the partnerships. So we'll kick things off really by saying that we've had really exciting partnership news over the last sort of few weeks. We've been busy building bridges that are kind of strengthening ONINO's position in the ecosystem. And honestly, it feels like every week there's a new collaboration shaping up. So first, let's talk about the cluster of partnerships that are really about pushing tokenization into a new frontier. These are, as you can see, some of the logos on there: RWA Nova, Mimbo Node, and Shift RWA or Shift. Essentially, Mimbo Node, what we're doing there is we're really blending gaming, esports, and compliant tokenization. So think ERC 364 for in-game assets and even esports financing, which is quite exciting if you think about it. And then with Shift, we've got really they're pioneering stocks on chain. So they're taking traditional equities and ETFs and tokenizing them and making them tradable 24/7. Again, a really exciting sort of area of development there. And finally, we've got RWA Nova. Here we're really combining our ERC 634 engine with they're AI driven, or we're thinking about those kind of areas of collaboration and really kind of building an RWA FI layer. So this lets really institutions tokenize real assets securely, legally, and at scale, which is what we like. So when you put those three together, you can see really how ONINO's infrastructure plugs into very different industries, which are very diversified. And we mentioned gaming, equities, institutions, but always with the same core, really, which is really about compliant tokenization. Now, separately, also, we've got another collaboration with Collably. So we partnered with them, and Collably is like the Web3 collaboration hub, if you want to think about it like that. So really what they do is connect projects with verified partners across RWA, DeFi, artificial intelligence, compliance exchanges, and many more sectors. So for us, it's really less about one single use case and more about visibility and opportunity. So we're hoping that this opens up new doors to new partners and helps us sort of scale faster across the whole ecosystem. And you'll be glad to hear that if you want to find out more about these projects, this Thursday, the 4th of September at 10:30 Central European time, we've got a big AMA organized with RWA Nova, Mimbo Node, and Shift as well. So make sure you definitely don't miss that one. So moving on to the next topic, which is all about really all about validators. So this is a really exciting and a very hot topic, I know, within the community. So when we initially set out, to thinking about lowering the barriers to securing the ONINO network, we knew it would take more than really good intentions, right? It took really the right, identifying the right partner for this. And that's why we teamed up with CIDT as a channel partner. So with that partnership, we bring TradeVibe by CIDT to life. And this is really a managed validator service built on ONINO's infrastructure that makes running a node feel as simple as like signing into any application that you would normally sign into. And TradeVibe is purpose-built for really community members who want to participate without wrangling servers or learning DevOps. So in a few clicks, what you can essentially do is you can spin up a validator, let CIDT handle the heavy lifting, like things like provisioning, monitoring, updates, and uptime. Meanwhile, you stay in control, which is quite amazing. And how do you do that? Well, thanks to ONINO's new operator keys in our node client, your validator key never leaves your wallet, which is a really, really important point. And then CIDT also CIDT can operate your node, but they can't move your funds and assume custody, which is really, really important. It's a clean real separation of control and operation, and exactly how it should be. So for ONINO, this partnership really unlocks a more inclusive path to decentralization, effortless participation, secure key management, and obviously manage reliability, which is really, really important as well. But for our community, it means more validators, a healthier network, and in effect, a smoother on-ramp to real yield for real participation. So TradeVibe is CIDT's service designed and run by them, powered by ONINO's underlying tech. And together, we're making validator operations really accessible to everyone, not just a few with the server and spare weekend. And again, you'll be really pleased to hear this, that tomorrow we have a live spaces with CIDT. And that's really kind of another one to put into your calendar. And that's going out at 5 p.m., again, Central European time. And we're going to be hosting this, and Alex and I will be the host on that one. So moving on to the next exciting bit of news. We've got the cohort. You may have seen some publicity before it earlier, sort of throughout the year, that we've been talking about it. And really, it's really about moving on and talking about what is the cohort and what's the purpose of it. This is something that personally really excites me, because the cohort strategy is basically how we accelerate adoption on the ONINO chain. So instead of just onboarding projects one by one, we bring developers in waves to do different things. And each wave isn't just about the new projects they bring. It creates, if you think about it, kind of a network effect. So one project inspires another, hopefully, and partnerships from between them, and the whole thing kind of compounds and kind of snowballs, which is exactly what we want. So for ONINO, that means real progress on real world use cases, really. And that's really what you want to be building. A stronger developer community that keeps kind of building on each other's work, which is going to kind of give you those network effects, and ultimately more utility for the ONI token, which is quite important. So yeah, the cohort is really how we supercharge innovation, one wave of builders at a time. And it's also kind of like one of the clearest ways we're reinforcing ONINO's role as Europe's leading tokenization platform. And that actually kind of ties in perfectly to the next update. Yeah, so I was privileged to go to HQ last week, beautiful Karlsruhe, and meet the founders, which was a really great experience. We spent a few days together in some really intense strategy workshops. These weren't really just high-level conversations, so we rolled up our sleeves, got into the details of how we align our vision, refine the roadmap, and sharpen really the way we tell the ONINO story. And honestly, it was energizing. I feel really kind of invigorated after sort of coming back, and really energized again in terms of what the ONINO vision is. So coming out of it, we had a much clearer vision of how we position really ONINO in Europe as a leader in compliant tokenization, and how we think about ONINO as Europe's tokenization engine. We also tightened up our roadmap, so making sure that the steps we're taking, both before and after the public launch of the platform, are crisp and achievable. So really fine-tune that to a T there. And another big focus was clarity on how we kind of engage with our community, with our partners, the broader ecosystem. Because the truth is, really, it's not just about what we're building internally, it's all about really activating everyone around us to build with us. So that's a real message we want to send out to the community and all our partners out there. And here's really where you come in. So we want you as a community to have more input. So as we move forward, we want you to really kind of contribute as much as you can, so we can make our developments more relevant to yourselves as well. And so you'll see us kind of opening up the door for feedback more often, because your real perspectives shapes what we do as a platform as well. So yeah, you can expect some big campaigns, updates in the weeks ahead. And I'll just say this isn't just about kind of building a product, guys, yeah? Together, we're shaping the future of tokenization in Europe. And I'm really excited that I'm on this journey. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Alex for the rest of this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen, and thanks for stressing this. This is really not just a product, and also for TradeVibe, maybe to mention a little more here, and I think Kai is going to do this as well. This is not just another D app. There's the good and the bad things about the ONINO network not having too many applications on it at the moment. And the good thing, in my opinion, is that we don't just have the general typical stack of applications that, are just like the others. This is really a big thing. We have always done things differently at ONINO, and I think this is just in line of this, making it really accessible, where you don't really have to take care of all the technical stuff that you normally have. And it's really, although this word is used very inflationary in many other projects, it is a way of democratizing access to blockchain, to crypto, to tokenization. So it's a pretty big thing. I think we're going to talk about it into much more detail tomorrow. But yeah, just wanted to mention this. And yeah, let's jump right into this slide. I wanted to talk a little more about custom use case highlights. Because we are nearing the launch. In approximately a month, we're going to start launching the first public ONINO tokenization and investment platform version. So where we had white label versions of this in the past weeks and months and years even. Now really it's going to be the ONINO tokenization platform launching in October, and that's a pretty big thing. And I want to give you some insights into the companies and industries we're talking about and with. And there's three main pillars, essentially. One thing are private banks, and there is a pretty big interest for ONINO to serve these entrepreneurial, high net worth individuals. And it's a great fit because on both hands, we have interest in both sides. So on one hand, those can be people emitting assets, and it also can be people really acting as investors, which is why private banks are a very interesting field. Another thing is solar energy projects, or in essential green energy projects or renewables, where partners use ONINO to finance the solar farms, battery storages. It can be charging infrastructure, it can be anything in this field. And this makes it amazing because clean energy now becomes an investment opportunity for the community, for society. And you really pair things like valuable assets and also something that's great for the environment, which we really like. And the last thing is things around football and music financing. There is a lot of things happening there, not just in football and music. Those are just two examples. It really shows how assets that so far just existed, or industries, are really become investable instead of just having, an ETF or something like this, or shares, or just another crypto token. Now we're really going into RWA, and not just this big word RWA, and not just a lot of meaning behind it, but really real world assets that become investable. And not just for people deep into crypto, but for anyone else. Because we have built the platform in a way that it has blockchain and tokenization in the background, and people can actively use it. But it's also usable for people that are non-crypto native at all, where we just take the advantages from it and bring them accessible to everyone. Yeah, so this is a little preview and deeper insights into our customers and use cases we're working on at the moment. I would like to give an update to the team as well. The ONINO team is growing much more. We have one new joiner, and I would like to welcome Christina to the team. And he is the one responsible for this beautiful new slide deck as well. So Christina, thank you very much. We're really happy to have you in the team. Christina is joining for design, and you're going to see more and more input from her and more work from her over all the different channels, be it website, be it our social channels, be it this here. And this now makes ONINO 10 team members, which are 3 founders, 3 people for marketing, 2 for business development, and 2 developers. And this is really cool because we've been seeing ONINO grow a lot over the past months and years, essentially. And this is just a start, but we're really getting there and going forward and going strong. And it's really happy to have yet another addition to the team ONINO. Then there is something that has not been announced anywhere publicly, so you are really the first to hear it. We have closed a successful equity fundraising round, and this is a huge thing because we didn't really even plan for it. We were, of course, the company is always looking for funds, be it through projects, be it through revenue or investors. In this case, we really had great connections with multiple different investors that do not just bring the money to the table, but also strategic input, connections, the network, actual projects that we're going to work on together. This is really more of a partnership than just a typical fundraising round. So really happy. You are the first to hear about this. And those are really great people that have long-term expertise and are supporting the team. And we're going to publicly announce this soon in a little more detail. But I thought, as you have been the longest standing supporters, you would be the first to hear about it. And it's really a very good sign as well for ONINO to really strengthen what Karen said, ONINO becoming the leader for tokenization in Europe as Europe's tokenization engine. And last but not least, I want to talk about marketing and our launch preparation, and specifically preparing for the platform launch in October. And we're really preparing a full marketing launch campaign and are setting up systems, preparing content, partnerships and everything. And I think you have been seeing a lot of it. We are doing a major website update. As you know, there is onino.io and there is onino.foundation. And onino.foundation really is the community hub and is really the place where everything around the community, the blockchain ecosystem, the coin is happening. And ONINO.io is really our customer-facing B2B project where you see much more around tokenization and the benefits of it and what you can do through financing, through tokenization. So we're really separating it in both hubs, and most of you hearing now will be following and going towards the ONINO.foundation website, but also keep in mind that ONINO.io is there. They just have two different addresses and specific people that are gonna interact with those websites and specific target groups. I'm also gonna work on refining a one-pager, which will make it much more easier for everyone to understand and grasp what ONINO does. You won't have to go through the whole websites, to go through all the documents, read the white paper. I think website one-pager is always a very good thing. And also general coordinating across the communities, business development and design to create the maximum impact for everyone, everything we're doing here, and setting up much more efficient and productive setups as we have become a much bigger team. And now we have to work on those things as well, which is a pretty good thing. And we will see not just the cadence of content going up, but also the quality, which is something that I'm really looking forward to. And with this, I'm going to hand over to Kai.
Thank you so much, Alex. Wow, really some great announcement in this month's community update. And I will be adding some minor announcements as well from a technical perspective. But before we go into that, into the usual dev team updates, I just want to highlight again how enthusiastic I am about TradeVibe from a technical perspective, right? As Karen and Alex have already explained, TradeVibe will be our collaboration product together with CIDT, our trusted infrastructure development partner, that will allow everyone to easily spin up their nodes. I just want to stress again how great of a step that is for ONINO, because believe it or not, I haven't been a developer for my entire life, right? Back in the days, there was a time where I was also barely able to operate a computer and just got freshly into programming. Back then, I was already interested in blockchain and everything around it, and also made my first, got my feet wet, or at least tried to run my first validator nodes for different blockchains. And back in the days, I really have to say, when you are not a totally professional developer, especially with skills in infrastructure and DevOps, it's actually basically impossible to run a validator node for a blockchain, right? And while in the setup of our node client, we have tried our best to make it as easy as possible, it's still, of course, quite a hard thing, just because you have to make certain technical configurations in order to properly launch a node, right? And this, in my opinion, is also a really huge blocker to true democratization and true decentralization in blockchains, just because it excludes so many people from participating in a network in the system they would actually like to, but are lacking the necessary technical skills. I think this is exactly where TradeVibe comes into the picture, and just tears down these technical barriers and hurdles and just makes it super easy for everyone to run an actual validator node. Great stuff ahead. I can only stress how excited I'm about this. As Alex and Karen also already mentioned, feel free to join our AMA together with our partner CDT tomorrow to learn more about this. I'm sure many of you will be liking it and will be happy to test it out to easily run their first own node. All right, now enough of TradeVibe. Let's get into the dev team behind the scenes. As always, what have we done in the past month? As some of you remember, just a quick recap, we have been building our own ONINO tokenization engine in line with the ERC 3643 tokenization standard, also called T-Rex, which is now totally finalized. So now that makes already two asset classes, like two technical engines that can basically be used to tokenize in the ONINO platform. On one hand, the in-house tokenization engine I've just mentioned, and second, we have the integration with our BaFin licensed register partner, Cashlink. But we haven't been resting since then. We have actually added a third asset class or third engine to our platform in the last month, which is actually, surprisingly, a non-tokenized digital loan. And now you may, of course, be wondering, what the hell is that all about? Why would you do any non-tokenized loans on a tokenization platform? Quite easy answer to that. We have actually talked with a lot of potential issuers, with a lot of banks. And while many appreciate tokenization, there's still some out there who actually would prefer the traditional, quote unquote, classical digital crowdfunding loan, over a tokenized asset, right? Just because that is a bit more trusted to them, a bit more well-known, a bit more established. So we have made our thought, wrapped our heads around that and thought, hey, okay, why can't we just take the traditional, classical, digital crowdfunding loan as it is, with all of its simplicity and straightforwardness and also legal clarity, and still combine that with the security of the blockchain. And now we have basically implemented a system to achieve that, which we call, working title for now, the on-chain audit registry. Imagine like that, we just have a simple digital loan that can be depicted via any crowdfunding platform, but in the background, via a smart contract on-chain registry, all of the data, all of the operations is in full transparency and full security. It's also mirrored to the blockchain, which in turn then increases the transparency, the trust, the security, as well as the auditability when it comes to talking to auditors, for example, or regulators. So you see, we've found quite a pragmatic solution for this, right? We can now also serve customers or issuers who want to issue a traditional digital non-tokenized loan, but still provide them with the security of blockchain right directly on the ONINO mainnet, which is, I think, a very cool differentiator compared to other platforms and compared to the overall market, and a very unique feature that we can be quite proud of as a community. All right, so now you see that makes 3 tokenization engines basically that we have under the hood in the tokenization platform. As I said before, just to recap, we have once the integration with our crypto registrar partner Cashlink. Second, we have the ONINO tokenization engine, and now third, we also have the on-chain audit registry for non-tokenized digital loans that are still secured by the blockchain. So yeah, you see, we've been quite busy in the last month, and it's not gonna get less progressive in the next month, because now I'm happy to announce that we've actually signed a contract with the leading security firm QR53, which is a very renowned security auditor. They've worked together with a lot of big blockchain projects, and also, for example, even highly security-focused companies like 1Password. There's a side note, they even found some flaws in their cryptographic logic. So yeah, I think I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying I'm really looking forward to this partnership and having our security audit conducted with QR53. Simply speaking, I trust these guys with all of my heart, and I can speak for all of us when I say, if these guys have audited our application, we can all sleep safely at night and know that nothing will probably go wrong. So yeah, as we presented the roadmap last month update, and we're now fully in line with this. Security audit is going to start mid of September, so everything will be fully audited and bulletproof until the platform launch in October. And with that, I think we can move on to the product updates. So what has been going on in the product team of ONINO. So on the one hand, we have, simply speaking, fully revamped our whole UI again, made it even more simple than before. We have some clear new UI designs. You can see the mockups here right on the screen, and have given our best again to simplify the processes for investors as well as issuers as much as possible. So for example, in the investment process, we have stripped that down to be as easy as the legal requirements allow us to. So it's really as less confusing as possible. We have simplified the legal text as much as we can. And yeah, just have put our focus on making the user flow when investing as smooth and straightforward as possible. Also, for example, we have added another functionality that allows you to resume an investment, right? So you can just click through it, do the investment process, and once anything interrupts you or you just don't have time anymore right now, you can just easily and comfortably resume your investment later. So yeah, and here's the little mockups that you can see to visualize how all of that is looking. And on the next slide, we can see the other side of the coin. Basically, we have also simplified our admin or issuer workflows again to make them as smooth and simple as possible, and also to reduce the friction for issuers as much as we can. Yeah, with that, I think we can go to the next slide, where we've also have another announcement to make what's been going on in the product team. So we've actually closed a new payment partner, a new payment rails provider that makes the user experience again much better, and that joins basically the set of payment methods that we already have on our tokenization platform. Cool thing about this provider is that it also allows to automail yield payouts to European investors. That means, for example, if you want to pay out, for example, dividends or interest payments to the holders of your tokenized asset. You don't have to download any bank data sheet and then make a bank transfer to pay them their interest. You can basically just do that with the click of one button. Cool thing about this provider is that they're very focused on financing platforms, like, for example, ONINO. So they have a lot of functionalities that we can leverage. For example, they can also do, if you want to, as a user, automatically deduct your tax from your capital gains tax from the interest you're making. And additionally, they're also handling all of the automation, all of the documentation in an automated fashion, so issuers don't have to care about that anymore. Next steps is finalizing the integration of the payment provider, as well as integrating the same comfortable payment integration also on the crypto side of things. And also we're going to be announcing more on this in a separate, more detailed blog post. And just want to conclude with another little teaser, since we didn't have enough cool announcements this community update. We are also working on a licensing partnership, and that will open up all of the European countries for tokenizing and distributing securities for us. Wow, that has been many announcements, and I think with that, we can just bring this month's community update official part to an end and move on to the question part. Thank you all very much for joining. As always, we just want to thank you all for being part of the community, being part of this journey. And we're very much looking forward to the times that are coming ahead. And stay tuned for more updates. In case you have any questions, as always, just let us know.
Perfect, Kai. Thank you very much for rounding it up. Indeed, many announcements. I hope they don't get lost in this community update, but I think we will have separate content for each and all of those things. So like I said, thank you very much for joining, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this update. Let us know if you have any feedback, any questions. We're going to be in the chat to answer all the questions you have right now, either, depending where you're seeing this, Telegram, Twitter, YouTube, or X. And looking forward to an open discussion. Thank you very much, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.